in the middle of the night,
Hmm.
I get on my phone and I record, kind of way in the dark, but it's still there, a last will and testament on my phone.
This is this is the second night.
Second or third night.
Boy. Okay,
And
so
so that
now
was just,
now I mean, so that had to be
we went
so.
from going to a retirement party to that. Mm.
Just 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago now, we're at the retirement party, man. You looking spiffy, polished, professional. You and your lovely wife with a couple of the week. Man, you guys look awesome, man. And now 3 weeks later, and you
Sick as
you, you
sick
got
as a dog.
you on oxygen.
I'm on oxygen.
Holy
Yeah.
smoke, bruh. So let's get into this. You know, we have struggles all the time, right?
Yes, we
I
do.
mean, I mean, whether it's work, family, the fraternity, you name it, there's a struggle in there somewhere.
Hmm.
But when this one comes out of the blue, how are you before we get into the actual medical part of this, how are you handling a sudden change in your life?
I think, um, we have to acknowledge what it is that we're dealing with
Yeah.
and say it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because the power of the spoken word is factual.
100%.
So if you put out negativity, uh, it'll become negative. Uh,
Right. I mean, if you're a spiritual person, which we are, you and I both,
mhm.
you understand the power of the word. I mean, the word started everything,
Yeah.
right?
Uh,
So
Genesis.
yeah,
Um,
exactly. So to your point, that I mean, that's going to ring true because that's truth.
yeah. Uh, uh, God said, "Let there be light,"
Exactly.
and then there was light. But he or the divine one, whatever you want to call it, assign it to, spoke those words
Exactly.
to make it happen.
Bruh, I love that, Keith. I think it starts there. I think with any struggle, right? You have to think about it positively, and you have
Hmm.
to know that there's gonna be a silver lining in there. You
Hmm.
might go through the struggle. It might be terrible. I mean, we
Hmm.
we have some stories to tell, but staying positive.
Start, continue, and finish. Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
so let's get into this, bro. How what was the first symptom that you had? Because like I said, I mean, you were the picture of health when I saw you at the retirement gig, man. You look great.
Yeah. And all of a sudden, I had shortness of breath, and it's crazy because it started getting worse. And I went into the hospital at first to in urgent care, and
Mm-hmm.
they looked at my stats and said, "No, you need to go straight to the ER." Went to Montgomery General in
Mm-hmm.
Maryland, and they were like, "We're not letting you go until your oxygen levels get good.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna start hitting you with a range of antibiotics." Because first blush, first guess after the X-ray, they're like, "This most likely is pneumonia,"
Did
and
you
that's a
have did you
layup.
have it in both lungs?
Yes, both lungs.
Mm.
Um, lower. So the lungs are, the right lung has three sections. The
Mm-hmm.
left lung has two, but for me, it was in the lower lobes
Mm-hmm.
and in the middle, a little bit in the middle. So that's a
And
serious
not
thing.
to yeah, and not to cut you off. How long did it take you to make a decision, right?
To what?
So you started feeling a little short of breath, and this is unusual for you, right?
Right. I
So,
didn't, like an idiot. I didn't rush to the hospital. My wife and I was like, let's get a bite to eat,
uh-huh.
before we go to the ER.
Yeah,
Just not thinking. It's just like trying to downplay it a bit. And
let me
I
shake
put a
this
bit,
off.
shake this off.
Yeah.
Yeah, our level of
So you went and got a bite to eat, which is
Yeah,
which is interesting,
yeah.
and it didn't get any better.
Didn't get any better, and so and part of the logic was let's get something to eat because if we're in the ER, we know we're going to be there all night.
Because when you get there, they don't want you to eat anything.
So went in, stayed overnight. Wasn't really responsive to the antibiotics.
Mm-hmm.
They called in the hospital's pulmonologist
Mm-hmm.
and infectious disease doc
Mm-hmm.
to get them on the case. So then they started hitting me with it's called broad spectrum antibiotics.
Right.
Um,
And this was after they looked at the X-ray. They
X-ray,
hadn't taken a MRI, which would, really break down your lung,
yeah,
to see exactly where the infection area is. Right.
right.
Okay.
So later on, they did do a CAT scan under contrast, so
Mm-hmm.
they could truly see what's going on.
That was within
Um,
24 hours, 48 hours.
24 hours because they wanted to make sure it wasn't what typically is a clot in the lungs
Mm-hmm.
or an embolism is it referred to,
Mm-hmm.
and no signs of any clotting. Um,
Mm-hmm. They wanted to see if you have any type of heart failure.
yeah, they were looking for congestive heart failure,
Mm-hmm.
and they were looking for clots, and they were also looking for congestive heart failure is sort of a broad statement, but
Mm-hmm.
they were looking for the left ventricle, how effective that left ventricle was operating.
Right.
They were looking at the mitral valve, the aortic valve, um, they wanted to see if the valves themselves, the primary valves,
Mm-hmm.
pulmonary uh, valve as well, just to make sure everything was working appropriately. It did.
Mm-hmm.
My EF function of squeezing out blood was on point.
And were
No,
they talking to you about what they were looking for?
yes,
And did they know that you are in the medical industry? Did they know what your background was at that
um,
time?
I tried to let them know in advance because I'll they will dummy it down, which is I
Yeah.
guess fine, but I'll
And
say hey,
that's an interesting point. Not to cut you off, Keith, but that happens a lot in the
yes,
industry where they just assume that you know Joe Blow
yeah,
or Michael Conrad walking in off the street doesn't know anything, is not a doctor, doesn't know anything about the medical terms, and so they dummy it down, right?
yeah, and they go straight to that. I think they could save themselves um, a bit of angst on their side. So
Mm-hmm.
if they say, hey, what's your level of uh, healthcare literacy?
Right.
Is the best way to say it.
Mm-hmm.
Because then that, but if time is of the interest of essence, they're not going to stand high on Samara.
Right.
But the moment I start speaking and I speak back to them in their language,
Right.
um, then they'll say, "Hey, are you medical?"
So as you get into your story, I
Hmm.
want to break down like little segments of it, right? So
Okay.
once you got the preliminary diagnosis, which was pneumonia, which is very general,
Hmm.
right? What was your reaction to that?
I'm saying that's a possibility. However, I'm not as responsive because I'd been on other antibiotics. I'm not being. This should be if it's a broad spectrum thing. This should be clearing up
It should be
like
dissipating.
ASAP. Like
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, within
because the
12
antibiotics.
hours, you should start to feel a
Yeah,
difference, right?
yeah, yeah, exactly. And
And
that wasn't the case.
and if I could just pry just a little bit,
Sure.
what going into the hospital, I think our brains are accustomed to, like you said, staying positive, right? I'm going
Hmm.
in, they're going to fix me, and I'm going to come
Hmm.
right out, right? So your level of stress was probably, a little bit amped more than
Yeah,
your everyday, but it wasn't really, you weren't really too concerned, right?
right.
Right. So
Um,
so when did the level of stress begin to change for you?
uh, I guess the next day, and I wasn't bouncing back,
Mm-hmm.
and they put me on high dose steroids,
Mm-hmm.
and they were putting me on
Prednisone.
which is prednisone as
Yeah.
the steroid, and then they gave me Lasix, which is a
Mm-hmm.
diuretic. Now
Mm-hmm.
uh, I've been working on losing weight for about a year and been successful. I lost 56 pounds,
Right. You
so
look
I'm mindful of
fantastic.
that.
Right.
Yeah, that's
Mm-hmm.
because I had to get the fluid
Mm-hmm.
off my lungs,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, not all 8 pounds was out of my lungs, but it was enough to be compromising.
Right.
And then so the next morning, um, I woke up and I actually got up out of the bed and I started listening to gospel music
Yeah.
and had my headsets on. I was doing a light dance and
Mm-hmm.
literally crying because just
So the emotions.
thankful
So the
that
right. So you got emotional,
yeah,
right? And it was in the moment.
yeah, and
Yeah.
I think you got to let that out. We as a
That's a
people,
really good point.
we don't let that out. I mean, and I didn't know it at the time, but there are other studies that talk about people who just are stoic and just
Yeah.
hold that all the way in,
Right.
and their recovery rates are slower and not as effective as to acknowledge pain, acknowledge
Yeah.
grief, but find joy in the upswing.
Mm-hmm.
So
And how were the conversations between you and your wife? How were they?
stressful, and
Mm-hmm.
I felt as the man. We've been married for 25 plus years.
Yeah.
That I am now a burden to my wife.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm the bread.
that's a big deal.
I'm laying in bed. My wife is laid out in a hospital
Mm-hmm.
chair that stretches, but still
Right. It's
it's
uncomfortable.
mad uncomfortable.
Right.
I'm putting her through this, and she really loves me. And on top of that, she hopefully I'm joking. She don't want to lose me,
Of course.
and I don't want to lose her.
Right.
I mean, we're still relatively young. It's middle age, but
Right.
this should not be our story. Uh,
Absolutely.
at this, maybe
30
10,
years
20
from now.
years from now.
Yeah.
Now I'm about 30. I
I'm
mean,
pushing it. I'm pushing.
I'm
I'm
pushing
saying
it.
positive, baby.
Yeah, I'm saying positive too. I am.
Yeah.
So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So I was in the hospital for 6 days.
Okay.
Um, Relative speaking to people who have this issue, that's a short period of time. But it was a long time for me because as much as I worked in hospitals and all that,
Absolutely. I think you're making a really good point. Mhm.
the time.
That's so good. Okay, so okay, we kind of glossed over the last will and testament. That was
I can get into that. So,
so what led you to that moment?
um,
Because a lot of people, and I don't know what the statistics are, but a lot of people don't have it.
yeah, they don't have a will. Because I mean, look, Prince died without a will.
Yeah.
Because you don't think about it in the moment, or you
Right.
don't want to,
Right.
and those are two different things. For me,
Yeah.
I had tentatively had one, but didn't go through the motion of getting it all written out and then
Mm-hmm.
signed off on it.
Yeah.
So I laid up in bed. I said, "Well, it's time stamped, GPS stamped. My wife's sitting right here. She's asleep, but um,
Yeah.
this is me, and it's the practicality uh, of managing stress.
Yeah.
There are things. Um, my parents were amazing in terms of getting all their affairs organized well in advance.
Preparation. Preparation.
And, yeah, and
Yeah.
you need to carve out time in your life. You ain't so fast and busy that you can't sit down and write it all down.
That's a great point, and I think the truth is that you and your wife work really hard for your three sons. You've worked your entire career, to take care of your family,
Mm-hmm.
and so I'm speaking in third person, but there's nothing you wouldn't do for your kids. So
Right.
your will and testament or your family trust or what have you, That's just as important as getting up in the morning and
It
taking
is.
care of your kids, because that's why you've done what you've done. Like you said, you've been married 25 years plus. That's why you've done what you've done. So to really embrace that and look at it from the standpoint that that's just security.
It is, and I took it a step further. So this week, um, we're getting ready to buy a house,
Yeah.
and
Congratulations.
thank you. So I can't attend the closing for obvious reasons, but my wife is going to go to do that, and we had to fill out a power of attorney.
Yeah.
Um, so my wife, um, one of her sorority sisters,
Yeah. I
thought
mean,
of in writing.
absolutely. I mean, it's so important, and I think look, it's really stressful to think about an end of life scenario, right? That stresses out anybody.
Hmm.
But I think it's more stress when you think about end of life that you're not prepared for.
Right.
And if the man upstairs gives us an opportunity to prepare for it,
You need you, go prepare.
yeah, because I think it's going to take that stress level down. I think
Yeah,
when
I
you,
feel.
I mean, you felt really good about that in a moment where you're very concerned about
Yeah,
about the status of your health.
right. And no matter what your family's, oh, we don't need to talk about that. That is not the right answer. You need to talk
Absolutely,
about it because death comes to us all.
facts,
You know.
100%. Okay, all right. So here it is. Dad, father, brother is taking care of business in the moment when he's down.
Yeah,
You
stress
know
level through the roof.
that speaks volumes.
Oh, and still working.
And still working, still taking phone calls,
Yeah.
still making people feel good around you,
Hmm.
and you're having to struggle to breathe, which is in fact one of the most difficult things. So now we can focus on getting you well. So where are you? Okay, you're 4 days
So,
in now, right?
well,
And
it's
what
a
are the
lot.
doctors telling you?
So they don't have an answer. So,
Oh,
but they do. They have been able to eliminate things off the board.
okay.
So it's not classic pneumonia.
Mm-hmm.
My results for autoimmune diseases came back all negative, which we just learned
Wow.
that today, which is huge
Yeah, that's a
because
big deal.
there's some really nasty autoimmune immune
There are
diseases.
some monsters.
Yeah, and it's not like those aren't really technically curable, other than a lung
Yeah,
transplant.
yeah. I mean, you have to live with it.
They just got to live with it.
Yeah.
And then it's not lung cancer. That was they ruled that out. But
Mm-hmm.
now they got to see what obscure type of X, whatever the hell it
Mm-hmm.
is this, and how do we treat that? So and then so I'm grateful to have conversations with with yourself and another friend who had kidney transplant, how his lungs got compromised,
Mm-hmm.
and he's fine now. But it took a couple of years
Mm-hmm.
for him to get him back. So that's where I'm at now. Next week, or not next week, but the following week, I'm going to meet my pulmonologist
Mm-hmm.
in an outpatient setting to try to come up with a plan.
Mm-hmm.
This thing has forced me to change how I go about life, just walking around. And it's so amazing because now I never thought about the act of breathing.
Right.
It's just something that you just do. You just get up and go, and
Right. You just
you
take
got
it
stuff to
take it
do.
for granted.
You take it. I took it so for granted.
Right.
I'm in shape. I was trying to get into walking and get everything firmed up,
Yeah.
but I have to now slow it down, but still get after it.
Right.
Um, One thing though that I know so far is that um, I can't stay stationary. I have to challenge myself. I got to get up off the couch.
Mm-hmm.
and walk around,
Yeah.
aided with oxygen or not. Get your butt up and go.
Yeah.
Be in the sun.
Hundred
Get out
percent.
the house because that your energy level has a direct impact on how fast you, for me, recover. So your
Yeah.
emotional mindset, all that, that's really starting to come into play.
Yeah, it is, right? So now you're out of the hospital, you don't have a diagnosis, right?
No
And so
diagnosis.
you don't have a prognosis, right? So you don't have a projected course of action, or any actionable items that can be put to work now. You're still in this mystery.
Yeah.
um
Yeah. All I have is I have to try to exercise my lungs. Just like trying to slowly breathe in and
right.
hold it and just constantly be doing not like this. This is helpful. Standing, talking, all that. That's
Hmm.
helpful, but I gotta go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lungs are resilient, but scarred or damaged, it take a long time to heal. So
Yeah. Yeah. I think that is a the lungs are can be difficult. The scarring of the tissue can be a major problem. I think you and I talked about that off camera. Which is my history, which is for another podcast. But so now you're in a situation where it's fight.
it's a fight.
It's
It
fight.
is a
I mean, it's time to fight now. It's time
yep.
to it's time to push the envelope. You have to push the doctors now, right? So let's talk about that for a moment, because I don't want to get too opinionated, but I'm not very happy with the industry as a whole, um, because doctors are just so taxed and
Mm-hmm.
in so many levels, where I think that care is slipping somewhat.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of people are not getting the care that they deserve, right, in the wealthiest country on the planet, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
so that's a whole nother conversation. But where I'm going with this is, it's going to be really important, for you or anyone in a situation like this, to push the envelope,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because the fact of the matter is you have to get down to a true diagnosis, right?
Yeah.
And that diagnosis, it doesn't matter what it takes to figure out this mystery, bro. Because the faster you get to a diagnosis, the faster you can kick this fight into full speed, right?
Agreed. And it's interesting. I have been. y- You're speaking squarely on being a self advocate. You have to fight, and so one of the things that I've been while I was in the hospital, I was like, this is like a episode of House where
Exactly.
this is not a layup shot. This isn't like you just pitch in, and that I would say that to my pulmonologist, and as well as my wife. She would say, "Hey, this is a tough case. This is going to be a challenge, and hopefully you're up for it. Don't just and in response or in kind, and maybe subconscious or not, but
Excuse
instead
me.
of just ordering the regular amount of testing,
Yeah.
he ordered this massive
Mm-hmm.
array of tests to. He's like, "Oh, yeah, this is a challenge." It's like I'm baffled too. I said, "Okay," and I want to give him permission to reach out to other pulmonologists
Oh,
and
100
other
percent.
people, and just say, "Hey, this is going to be a team sport effort. If you don't have the answers, that's okay.
Yeah.
But we're gonna bug a bunch of people, show my stuff to them, and
Yeah.
and get the best guess we can do
Yeah.
on this. And you might be able to write it up. I mean, this is so weird.
Yeah.
So
I
yeah,
it or not. I
Right. And I don't want to be rude, but I do need to take my medicine. It's
Yeah,
time for
absolutely.
it.
So yeah, so bro, we will circle back. But this has been really good, and I'm happy, man, that you want to share this. I think people can gain a lot of knowledge about situations like this, because people are deal with these types of challenges every day, right?
Yeah.
And you kind of feel by yourself.
Yeah. I appreciate the opportunity to share because it is, when you speak it, you can control it. You at least get out there that, I'm trying to have some level of, things aren't as bad.
Right. Well, all right, bro. Well, let's circle back, man, and because this has been fabulous. Uh, I think if I can help you in any way, I certainly want to do that. And if you need
Okay.
anything, but I tell you, bruh, I am praying daily for this healing process, right? To get
Hmm.
you back full speed. We've got you got a lot of things ahead of you, bruh. So
Yeah, I
we,
do.
we, we gotta figure this out quickly, man.
Yeah, we
So
do.
so go take that medicine, and I will. I'll talk to you. The struggle continues, but
Yep.
it's a fight that you can win.
I believe that. I
That's it.
believe that.
Okay, my brother. You
I
you take good care of yourself. Be well.
Okay. Thanks.